Okay, this is another proof that society sees children as just own object by their parents. The legal implications of refusing to serve a pregnant woman alcohol. Now, a recent post on a popular social networking site, Reddit, has generated a great deal of media coverage and online debate on personal accountability and the rights of serving staff when it comes to alcohol. Just to cut to the chase, the woman in this case, there was a pregnant woman, and the alcohol, or I should say, the server switched the alcoholic beverage with non-alcoholic drinks. She didn't do anything that was any harmful. She was thinking about the child, right? Now, the post described experience from member staff serving alcohol to a group of people, which one was pregnant. When the group, including expected mother, ordered a number of rounds of alcoholic cocktails, a member of the staff decided to take matters into their old hand. You mean her own hands? It's a waitress, and replace the pregnant woman's drinks with non-alcoholic versions. Why are they using this gender neutral term, right? Because they don't want to show that another woman thought about this, right? The switch was only discovered when the bill arrived, showing that the drinks were non-alcoholic. The pregnant woman was so furious that it resulted in the server being suspended from work. Now, to me, again, it was important that they show that it was a waitress, because a man would know his place and not do this to the woman, even though, for as far as I'm concerned, he should have. Everyone, listen, I cannot have a single beer and get behind the wheel of a car in my country. So by rights, pregnant women shouldn't be allowed one drink of alcohol, period, while they're pregnant, because it damages the fetus. So, I mean, and this woman, by the way, would be under the same situation. And here's another thing. Here in my country, you're not allowed to put a child up front in a car with a seatbelt that's designed for an adult if they're under a certain size and body weight. So it's funny that they can force people, citizens, to do that because they're considering the welfare of the child. But when a woman's pregnant, all of a sudden it doesn't matter. The child is absolutely under her control. Nobody considers the child at all. The incident raises some important ethical questions. Actually, it only raises one question, and it's not a question. It's like, do women have the right to use their fetuses as objects instead of people? That's the only question here. Was the server right to take matters into her own hands? Is it down to the customer, pregnant or not, to choose what she drinks? Is it legal for a pregnant woman to drink more than the recommended amount of alcohol? And can serving staff legally refuse to serve alcohol to a customer if she's pregnant? There's no question of this. The staff not only can refuse underage customers, they have to refuse underage customers. So when you're serving alcohol to a pregnant woman, she is housing an underage person. There's no question about this. The only question is whether society is going to allow women to treat their fetuses like objects. That's it. Now, can serving staff legally refuse to serve alcohol to a customer? Any premise that requires a license to serve alcohol has the ability to refuse service. It's up to the licensee to accept or refuse a patron's custom. However, under discrimination laws in UK, it's the UK again, it is unlawful to discriminate in providing goods or services to a patron on grounds of race, disability, gender, sexual orientation, or religion. That has nothing to do with this. Know how? Because the UK has to refuse underage customers. And it doesn't matter if that underage customer, it doesn't matter about their disability or their gender or their race or their sexual orientation or their religion. None of that matters. You're underage, you do not get served. It's that simple. Now, what is legal position on not giving the customer what they ordered? Now, under the 2015 goods should be as described. If the cocktail was advertised as including alcohol, then contractually the customer should have been served an alcoholic cocktail. Well, not if they were underage, right? If the customer was charged the same price as a non-alcoholic cocktail, then the customer could argue that she should be entitled to a refund to the difference. Notice they used the word she this time. It's funny, the waitress, they used neutral term, and the customer, they're using a gendered term. However, if the customer paid a reduced price and therefore did not suffer any financial loss, and the customer is unlikely to be able to pursue a breach of contract claim. Well, yes, because she didn't notice until they got the bill and they realized the drinks were cheaper, right? So this woman didn't lose out on anything. Does the waitress have an unfair dismissal claim? So by saying waitress, they admitted what her sex was. A man would know his place and look at the fetus and just say, well, kid, I guess you're going to be damaged. You're going to be brain damaged by alcohol because I'm just a peasant and there's nothing I can do about it. My betters have ordered alcohol. Now, we'll skip that because it just talks about whether they're able, but this is the more important part. What are the rights of the unborn baby? None when it comes to the mother. The child has rights if if the father does something to him or her. But the mother's allowed to get away with things. Generally, a pregnant woman is entitled to make her own decisions in relation to her unborn child, even if the child suffers from fetal alcohol syndrome as a result of the mother's drinking in this case. It would not usually be able to make a legal claim against her, really. And this is what doesn't make any proper sense other than they want to let the mother do whatever she wants to the fetus. Because again, this same woman would not be allowed to drink and then get into a car. She would not be, I don't know about UK, but here in Canada, again, you would not be allowed to have a small child in the front seat without the appropriate gear for a small child, because the seatbelts aren't designed for their size. So it's funny they have laws like that, but when it comes to a pregnant woman, the fetus is considered her property. And if she damages it, society doesn't care. Well, actually, it does care. It cares that she gets to be the boss of that human life. And obviously, just because you're housing the child doesn't not mean you have the right to make decisions for that child. Obviously, because it depends on the individual's ability. Now, this is something I wanted to just talk about, and it's just to put the same point over and over again. Society does not care about children. They care about women, and they only care about mothers because mothers are women. And so the mother has absolute life or death this choice and decision over her fetus. And I'm here to say that's wrong. Thank you, everyone.